Hello and welcome! Architect 611 here. We are returning to our game of Farthest Frontier. This is where we've gotten so far. I am going to play the game, and I did notice when I was editing the last episode that I put this building right in the way of the road. This, which is a storage cart, to move it, you have to salvage the building? Oh no, you can move building like this. I wonder how easy that is to do. Oh, look at that. It is just a wagon. Cool, so it can get out of the way of a road easily. But this one, we need to move over a bit. I'm not going to do that now. We need firewood. And I was wondering, how come we don't have any? Maybe that's because people take it? No. We don't have any logs. That's the other issue. Not that. We want to harvest resources. We were talking about that bush, but we need trees, and we need them badly. So let's chop down these. I'm not worried about thinning out the forest here. We're going to build into this area, and we'll have buildings around here. But we want to leave these trees out here, or the forests out here, so that they can just keep regrowing and hopefully spreading out even more. I don't know if they'll spread out to areas that there aren't any trees, or if they'll only just spread back into areas that are designated forest on the map. Not sure how that works yet. It seems to take a while, which would be expected for this kind of game. They're not just gonna regrow trees in 8 seasons. And then looking at what we need to build next, I'll speed up the game a little. That's the wrong one. I pressed 2 because I wanted the second speed. I need to change that before the next episode. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep messing it up. Oh, we have the hawthorn berries now. I see. We still have our housing shortage, but that should be worked on shortly as we chop these trees. That's not what I wanted. I want H, harvest. Need to give them some more. Yeah, and I'm wondering, can these few trees like fill in an entire forest here? Because then let's not touch them. But then also we're gonna want farming land down here. So we can get rid of some of these trees. But again, do we want to wait and let some grow and then take them down? We need trees. And we have a lot, so I won't worry about it too much. But it's just something to definitely keep in mind when you play this game is sustainability. But that should give us a bunch of needed wood. Much needed wood. I keep pressing escape to get out of these windows that pop up, and it just pops up the pause menu. Maybe right click. It's the best way to... If I have like this up, I right click, there we go. That's how I get out of them without pressing escape. Okay, we have firewood being made. That's good because winter's approaching. We need to make sure all of these houses has all the firewood they need. You can see they've got 5 there, along with a bunch of other stuff, including human waste. We'll need to compost that later on. They're out of water, but that's because the building just went up. Someone's going to need to take a trip to the well that's not built. How have these houses gotten water? Oh, look! They just walked themselves over. They knew there was water there, even though the map wasn't showing it. Interesting. Well, I definitely want easier access. We don't want them walking down there every time. And there could be wildlife that we don't know about. Oh, look at that! Our first immigration. Oh, no, no, they're telling us how to get it. We need to amass a 4-month supply of food and 6 houses. So that's going to be our first goal in this game. 6 houses. Is it 4 months of food? That's it? I would like more than 4 months of food. I almost starved all of my people the first game I was playing because it's surprising how quick this stuff can go bad. Like, look, in the next 12 months, 5 months of it is going to go bad. So we only have, somewhere over 4 months. It's not easy math, not easy math either. And did that just change? The game's paused. Okay. Again, early access. Really can't complain about small bugs like that in early access. That's absolutely expected and for me completely tolerable. If that's something that that would be a deal breaker for you, don't get the game yet, but I'm sure they'll iron that stuff out. And I said in the last part, I have really been enjoying this game. I'm going to pause it because we need to do some building. But I've really been enjoying this game. Uh, it seems like a great combination of elements. It's a challenge, and then I really want to build up this city and test it out in combat. Stockyard is going to be the next thing I need, and here's why. Lots of buildings need it, even in other categories, not in food, but in resources. They need a stockyard to be built before I can build a saw pit. Here we have the hunter cabin. We'll need to build a storehouse and a basic well, which we have, but to build a storehouse, we need a stockyard. So this is where they will stockpile building materials such as logs, stone, and planks. Where are most of our trees? I'd like to keep this forest and this forest. So let's put our stockyard up here near the forests. I'm sure we'll keep expanding our city over time and build into them. Oh, and something else I need to think about. Stockyards are targets for raiders. You can imagine why. Same with the, well, really not stockyards, but anywhere that stores valuable resources. So you want to keep them protected and behind walls. So that's something to take into account as well. I was planning on putting a road along here between houses so we could put a stockyard. Oh yeah, the house actually goes up to here. See that yellow box? It's a 3x3, but a bunch of it is their yard. So we'll put this right here, and that could be on the edge of the border. Like I'm imagining a wall running along right here. And then a gate so they can come over, pop right in. We'll have a gate on a wall along this side so they can come on in. I'll let the game run so they can build that stockyard because that's what we need for more building. But we're still waiting on logs. So we're just waiting on our laborers to get down there. This is a perfect time to show you the villager professions. This is that screen. Does the game keep running? It does. While the game is, while the menu screen is up. That's good to know. So pause it if you don't want the game running. But this is where you assign all your professions, and you can see how many there are. This reminds me of Banished with the mod. Oh, I can't remember the name of that mod, but there's a mod for Banished that adds so many more professions, and that's what this is reminding me of, built into the vanilla game. You can see these black and white uh, food sources mean there's nothing there. and that's because we're approaching winter. We still have greens, and I probably should have moved their circle. Again, something I'm not really liking. I want an automated way to do this. Like maybe similar to the farming. You'll see that in the future, but where I could put it here in the spring, here in the summer, and here in the fall. I'm curious if that's a thing, if they have that planned maybe. If we need to upgrade it to tier 2, and then that's an option. Just have to keep playing and find out. For now, it's manual though. So our stockyard is being built. After that, we want to build a root cellar pretty soon. We'll need 20 stone for it, but we have 19. That will help us a lot with this. 8, 10 months of food are going to spoil over the next year. It's like you really just can't stock up food for any length of time when you don't have a good way to store it. New villager immigrated. So look at that. Our first immigration. That's food. That's villagers. Is it just one? Oh, and then the new villager was born. So that's how we have 12 people now. Villagers will just immigrate like this, a couple of them here and there in the early game. When it got to a larger group of them, I can't remember how many, 6 maybe, they did ask, which was nice. I'm glad to be able to say no if I don't want it. I don't think they'll even ask though if you don't have the shelter space. And in this early game, I don't think they'll show up unless you have the shelter space. You can see all of our food sources to gather are no longer there, but yep, we can still hunt deer. 4 of them, that's nice. 5 of them, that's nice to see. So they are reproducing somehow. The 4 does are reproducing. And let me double check this. Yeah, that's 4, and here's the 5th. 5 does are reproducing somehow. Maybe it's simulated, like there are bucks out here in the forest that we can't see. But that's nice to know. We're not just gonna kill off the herd. I think what they might be warning you about is you don't want to just put like 3 hunters here. Then you'll have no more deer. It's kind of like the ecosystem. You need a balance of predators to prey, and then everything works well. Still have sand available and iron. Buildings though. It's the winter. Perfect time to build. Is it? It's not a perfect time to dig a root cellar, but I don't know if that's simulated in this game. We'll need more stone, but we have the logs. We're going to be farming down here, so we'll want a place to store all of that. And our hunters down here, yeah, and we're gathering here. We're going to put this right here. I'm just looking at that, yeah. There is enough room for a path. Yeah, well, we need that one more stone. That's what I was thinking about. Harvest that resource. You just saw you can harvest resources individually. That's how we'll do it when we're thinning out a forest, which we could do right now. I'm still having trouble selecting exactly what I'm trying to select. That might be me, that might be the game. I don't want them going too far out though. That gives them something to do in the winter. We can also move a little bit farther down this way. Oh, are those considered bushes? Let's let them harvest everything. They just look like really tall, scraggly bushes, I guess. Oh, is there just dead wood here? I guess we can't get that. We have 10 months of food and 10 will spoil in the next year. So that should get us through winter. Our firewood is doing good. I need to keep assigning them trees. Buildings, though. This is up. Awesome. So we have our root cellar here. A lot to upgrade. Just getting distracted. It can use barrels though. So that's something we'll build in the future. See how it's got 0% spoilage reduction bonus? Each barrel we have, it'll go up by 5%. And if we have the max 10 barrels, we'll get a 50% spoilage reduction bonus. That's huge. I think that's one of the most important things you want to focus on in this game is food storage, because this game's going to throw problems at you. And, you know, if you get hit with a raid, you need food to be able to get you over until you can rebuild, heal, whatever needs to happen. That's what I'm anticipating, at least. What next? Let's build a storehouse. That's for everything else. Or maybe even everything. I think you can store food in it. You just prefer to put it underground. Yeah, that'll fit. There's an extra spot there. But I'd like to keep these storages near each other. I mean, that one's way up there, so maybe it doesn't matter. We could put it to obstructed by building. Oh, the well, of course. We could also spread them out strategically so raiders can't get to all of them. I don't know what the best thing to do is. Fine, I'll put it over here. But we're going to go down one notch because we're going to move this one in the future over one. Not going to forget that. That food situation is looking a little dicey. We should still be getting deer. They're down to 3. Do we stop now? Maybe. We need food. We don't want to kill the herd of deer. I'm going to make the call. And actually, we don't need to move the zone. Let's just take away the hunter. Now they can do something else. We're going to let the deer of 3 remain for the winter, and hopefully they reproduce over the spring. I think that's what deer do. That's going up. What next? We'll have all the tier 1 storage buildings at this point. Look at that. We just made it to year number 2. We could use more housing always, but I just want to make sure we're secure on food before we allow anyone else to move in. So, speaking of which, smokehouse, that will really help. That will increase the spoil time of food in general. Not of food, but of meat that's smoked. And then when you put it in here, it'll stay even longer. So this is one you want to get built pretty quickly. I found out after not building it that quickly last time. We want it near where it's going to all be stored. I'm thinking about putting it just right here. Yeah, let's do that. So that'll get going. What else do we want to build? Farms we're going to wait on. They're a huge investment. You see that 22 hours or 22 whatever the unit is of work? It's a lot more than that. It's that times a bunch. So if we wanted to make a field this big, it would cost 1,100 work or whatever that unit is. I'm not sure what to call it yet. Just look at this. If you want to build the max size field, which is 12 by 12, you need 7 workers, and the cost is over 6,000. compared to these other buildings that are like 10, 20. Food stocks are low. Yeah, it's the end of the winter. We're moving into the spring. That's going to happen uh, the end of this first winter. Just inevitable, I think. And I can't imagine playing on the hard mode in like bad terrain yet. I mean, I would just have to be a lot more careful. I did build 2 extra housing cabins, hunting cabins, hunter cabins. Guess that doesn't really matter. Look at that. Yep, they're back. Let's get hunting going again. Buildings to build. Let's slow the game down to single speed. Then I don't think I need to pause it as much. Oh, this is a good one. A tannery. We can build coats. A saw pit for planks. We'll want that to start building the next kind of level of buildings. Not tier 2 yet, but it'll unlock buildings that need planks. We need a way to make the planks before we can build the buildings. I mean, we could trade, but it's too early game for that. Let's build the tannery next. That's a large... No, it's not. I still don't know what these zones are. See the zone around the building? The white tiles? What's that? If you know, please let me know in the comments. I may end up Googling it. That's not going to fit perfectly. I'm trying to save this spot for a building that has a dimension of 4 on one side of it. For clothing... Do we want to be up here? What is this store again? No, it doesn't store those animal products. This one doesn't either. This one does. So let's put it up here, where the stuff will be stored. We can just put it right next to them. A saw pit, and we've got the firewood splitter already. That one's got a 4 dimension. Let's pop it in here, up here, near where the wood's going to be coming in. A big thing about all of these city builder type of games, not City Skylines, but like Banished, this game, is these walking distances. It's huge because the game simulates that. They have to walk distances and carry items distances. So minimizing that is always important. And what was I going to build? A saw pit here. It was going to fit perfectly up there. It'll have to do down here. We were going to put a path in here. So let's rotate it with tab and put it right here. It'll be able to work with this stockyard and take logs out and put wood planks back in. We're still doing all right on logs, but let's see what we have them harvesting. They won't harvest these because hawthorn berries can pop up on them. Got it. If I build over the bushes, I think that's the way that you actually get rid of them. I don't want to, don't get me wrong, but our city's going to expand, and the reason I'm making it so condensed is we want to be able to build walls around it. And the more spread out the city is, the more expensive those walls are. We're going to want defenses. So the smaller the city can be, the more efficient all of those defenses can be, and the more we can have. Let's do something like this. We'll harvest that one. That one. I want to kind of leave the trees on the edges alone, but I'm hoping that's safe to do. And also, I'm experimenting with this. We'll see what works, what doesn't work, how fast these trees actually grow back in. Who knows, there might be a point we need this wood to survive, so we end up cutting an entire forest for survival. But we're going to try to avoid that if possible. So there, that'll thin that forest. We can come up here too, hoping that these villagers don't run into wild animals up here though. Just kind of doing this randomly. If you want to see everything I've selected, you just tap the H key. That should be a good start for now. They do have to travel farther to get these resources, so that's a disadvantage. But if we just clear cut these out, we would no longer have resources this close, and we would just have to go farther and farther. What else should we be building? We're a little low on logs. We want lots of firewood. And when you look at firewood, it's an amazing conversion ratio. That's hunting. That's firewood. You get 15 firewood for each log. Or each, I guess, pile of logs. Because you can't have one logs. We've got our saw pit being built and our tannery. Speed it back up to 2 speed, 2 times. We've got these hazelnut bushes, but let's see. Let's pay attention to this zone a little bit more. It's over here. No, smokehouse. It was up here. Forager shack, yeah. We could have them come get greens and stuff. Did I never move it? Guess I never moved it once, so they've just been foraging all of this. That's not that bad. But let's give them a lot more to forage over here. Again, I'm really hoping there aren't wild animals right here. That's a long run back home. Yeah, you can see how much work is required for these buildings. It's like somewhere between 30 and 40. That farm takes a lot longer. Okay, we have the tannery built with 2 people working it. We don't need that yet. We're not going to have that much leather or pelt, I don't think. We can come over here and see all of our resources in the village. We have 1 sitting around. So we don't need 2 people working it. We probably don't even need 1. He could be part-time. Low on wood. They're still going to be harvesting. I keep calling it harvesting. I know that's weird, but it's just how the game sets it up. Harvest resources. You harvest trees, stones, bushes, and berries. Doesn't sound right to me. You're chopping trees. You're getting lumber. You're not really harvesting them, but it's the H key, the harvest tool. And maybe that the definition of harvest is more general than I thought it was. What else do we have to build? Okay, you can see we've unlocked a bunch of stuff here. We've got a cobbler now for shoes. That's something we'll want to do. We need more pelts. So we've got these deer being hunted right now. But we didn't have any more in this circle. We did see others around though. So we'll need to explore and get out there more. But we'll want shoes at some point. Fletcher building is for bows and arrows. A basket shop. So this is huge. It just seems for efficiency. You just have, the villagers can carry more. That's just a basic thing in these games. They have to walk long distances. The more they can carry, the better. And a compost yard that will take care of our waste, human and animal. But there's that monthly cost. See it? 4 gold. So we'll need to start collecting taxes before then. We do that with a market. Yeah, right here. Houses like it, and we make money from it. So markets are great. I don't think we want to build one yet, and we don't even have the planks to. So we're going to wait on that. Uh, Food production stays the same. We just went over that. If you're curious, here's the one defense we can build. Monthly cost though, so that's why we haven't so far, and you need gold to build it in the first place. We can build these dirt roads, fence gates, field stone wall, and a fence. These are just for keeping animals out. Humans can get through or over these kind of fences as you would expect, but as you see here in tier 2, that's where we start to unlock the stuff that keep humans out. And then a bunch of decorations as well, which we are nowhere close to spending our very valuable resources on. Maybe we could use more people, just so we have more laborers cutting down trees. We've got 4 laborers right now. Yeah, I think it could be worth it to invest in, not there, there, invest in some housing. The orientation you put the houses, so that green arrow doesn't matter apparently. I'm not sure why they have the green arrow though, but as you've seen, the villagers can just walk around wherever. Wow, I called them villagers. This game also reminds me of Age of Empires. Just the style, the top down kind of format, the the map. This just really reminds me of that too. So we've tons of berries. Looks like we're getting into late summer. Maybe that's been there for a while and I didn't notice. They still have plenty of stuff to harvest over here. I'll leave them to that for now. Yeah, I know logs is an issue. We could stop firewood from being made. And that's another issue about adding housing. We need all of these things. Maybe we don't add the housing right now. I can still pause them. Can I? Nope. It's down here. I don't really know where to click yet. That's fine. One house, that should be doable, but just adding 2 at once might have been a bit much. They're coming out to here. I could let them take down a few more close trees. Wrong thing. Yeah. 3 new villagers immigrated. All right, now we have a few more laborers to help us out. And a new villager was born. I'm still wondering if villagers just can't be born if you don't have the housing space for them or not. You can dismiss these notifications if you don't want them to sit there. But they go away pretty quickly. I think it's a good amount of time. They don't bother me. I think we may just come down here and start clear cutting a little. This will be the one place we just push down while we try and keep forests up here. Because we will need places to expand. We'll want farming out here. And our city will continue to slowly grow. And wow, I just saw the time. Looks like we should begin wrapping this up. What do I want to do to finish off this episode? Well, you just saw everything we have to continue with, not in food, but in resources. That's our big one. We'll want to get compost, baskets, bow and arrows for the hunters, and cobbler shop going. We are doing fairly well. Number of logs is coming back up. That's been our biggest problem. We can go grab stone when we need it. I think this has been a good start. I don't think we're doomed from the beginning. I'm glad to know that I can actually publish these videos without having to worry that. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm just gonna jinx myself. This game could be really tough. Once we get a raid, we'll see if we can recover from that. I really don't know how tough this game is yet, but stick with me. Join me for the next part, and let's figure that out. Liking the video, commenting, subscribing, it really does help me out. So do that if you enjoyed the video, if you want to see more, especially if you want more videos faster. Has this not been enough to determine if you want to buy the game for $30 in early access yet? Let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.